Welcome to Nice Guys Do Finish Last by Player Supreme. Now, I just recently watched a guy's video, and this was his photo that he used on the video that was titled Nice Guys Finish Last, and he invited everybody to join the discussion. So I decided to make an answer and do some explaining as to what the problem really is with nice guys and the whole image of the bad boys. I don't usually get involved in the YouTube nonsense or madness. I try to get involved in African American wars between the men and women or any of the race nonsense because most of the people who get involved in this stuff, they're what I call consumers, and they're not producers. Consumers, they got all that free time on their hands. They run around, they do debates with people, get in arguments, and that's how they get their jollies, their kudos, instead of being producers, which is they're so busy with their lives producing something. When they come out and say something, it has a benefit to their actual productions. For example, this video is used to market who I am. Otherwise, if there was no payback for me, I would not do the video. Just like my videos that are on YouTube, it's all about business. So I've learned to separate from becoming a consumer to a producer. And I choose not to deal with the consumer arguments and all the nonsense that goes on within the YouTube community. So let's start with a brief history of women. Now I'm going to give a Caucasian version of history, but recognize that it actually goes all the way back to African history as well. Okay, we may not have lived in caves, but we did have our primitive times. Okay. Let's look at the ancient programming of women for just a brief moment. If you go back in time to our hunter-gatherer society, whether it was Caucasian or African, and life did begin in Africa, so let's go back to there, or if you're Caucasian, this image may help you. Hunter-gatherers. If you look at the ancient programming that was necessary to procreate the race, women became attracted to the dominant males of the group because that was the man who was the natural leader, and that gene needed to be spread further than someone who was a lesser male. So that's programmed into women to first become attracted to the alpha males. That's why alpha males get as much pussy as they want. They get a lot of women, basically. Okay. They also are looking for the dominant males because these males were good hunters in the past. They could go out, hunt, and bring home the game. Now, this is when we had tribes, when we broke down, we had little families and small tribes. The dominant hunters who could bring home the food, they're the ones who got to breed first. Okay? So women are biologically attracted to the dominant males for this very reason. He is a good provider. That means he can go out there and hunt. In today's society, we see other examples of that, and I'll talk about that later on in this show. Number two, they're attracted to the alpha males or aggressive dominant males. Now, this was necessary so that we didn't breed a weaker race of mankind. I always assert that nerds did not exist in those days. Because if we look at nerds of today, they have weak, effeminate bodies. And that is not good for the gene pool to breed males like that. They're coming out more and more because our society is changing. We have more of a need for internet or nerds, rather words, in general. So women biologically, as I said, are attracted to the alpha males or the aggressive dominant males because of that protector, provider DNA or programming within their DNA. Okay, I know somebody's going to argue me, it's not in the DNA. I'm just using that as an example. Okay, it is programmed into women to seek out these aggressive dominant males. Okay, women are mostly attracted biologically to the alpha dogs, and that's the alpha males first. Then the other leaders, the lesser leaders. Okay, you got to understand the nature of mankind. When you start looking at the nature of mankind, the history of mankind, you see why the weaker males, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to break it down between nice guys and dominant males, or bad boys, if you want to call it that, why there's a difference, and why it's biologically uh, better for her to breed with the what you guys call thugs, or whatever you want to call them. If you understand that nature is trying to produce stronger, more aggressive males, then you see the reason why they become more attracted biologically to the alpha dogs and then the dominant males. Let's look at the traits of most nice guys that they exhibit that causes this problem. Okay? Now I'm saying most because I know people on YouTube, you guys love to argue. And I don't really want to get involved in your stuff because, as I said, I'm a producer, not a consumer. Let's go into some of the traits, though, that I have collected over the, I guess I've been doing this for about 10 years now. First of all, nice guys tend to seek approval from women, and that is a truth. If you're a nice guy, you know that's true. They also cater or pander to women, and if you're a nice guy, you know that to be also true. They are predictable and considered boring by women. Okay, as one fella reason why I did the show said, you know, the thugs offer more excitement, and that is true. They're more exciting to be with. Nice guys tend to call women every day or worse, a couple times a day, which exhibits clingy and needy behavior. And women hate that. It is like kryptonite to Superman. That clingy, needy. What are you doing? Calling her all times of the day. I think sisters call them bugaboos. So if you're exhibiting these behaviors, more likely you are a nice guy. Let's go on to some more behavior traits that nice guys exhibit that kill the attraction for women. Next, they try to buy their time and attention with meals and gifts. Always trying to take a girl out to dinner. Whereas the bad boys, they don't bother with that shit. They just take them right to bed. Nice guys, you got to take them out to dinner. You try to give them gifts and all that kind of stuff just to get the pussy. Women know what you're doing. They're not stupid. Okay? Nice guys are nervous, insecure, and overly nice around women. And that is a complete turnoff because women, again, if you look at the biology, they like the confident, aggressive males. Confidence is the big issue. They like the confident, aggressive males. While you're busy trying to rub her feet and listen to her whine about the bad boy that's messing with her heart, you don't put yourself into that friend zone, that nice guy zone. And she'll tell her friends, she'll try to set you up. Oh, he's such a nice guy. And their friends will run when they hear that word nice guy. The one fellow was right. There is a time limit on this. Women do tend to start looking for a nicer kind of guy to settle down with once they hit a certain age. Around 25, as I've said many times before, a woman's biological clock is screaming at her. Okay? Her productive baby production years are getting close, to an end, actually. The safe times for them to have children are from 16 up to, I believe it's the 30s. Then there might start coming issues after that in some races. Okay? I'm not saying go for some 16-year-olds either, because those are still children. Okay? But if you go back in time, women were having children much earlier. In this country, the history of this country, I believe some of the kids got married at 12 years of age. And that's why many of them died in childbirth. I live in America. That's the country I'm in. Okay? Next, they act like a woman's friend instead of showing the sexual interest like bad boys do. So that's you guys who are nice guys. You try to befriend her, which is a bad mistake. Be honest in your intentions. Women don't trust nice guys either because you're dishonest in your intentions. You come on trying to act like a friend when all you really want is the pussy. Let it be known. Okay? They appreciate that. Nice guys are available at the drop of a hat. And I'll get into more about why that's a turnoff. Nice guys don't complain. They tolerate, without protest, bullshit from women. Flakiness, cancel date, iffiness. Yeah, I might go out with you. I don't know. And then the last minute they cancel, and nice guys are all pussy about the shit. You think a bad boy would take some bullshit like that? Hell no. And that's why women like the bad boys, because they don't tolerate their shit. When you're a nice guy, if she's conquered you, you are no longer a challenge to her. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. Nice guys go out of their way to please women in hopes of getting laid. Sitting there rubbing her feet, giving her massages, taking her to dinner, becoming that emotional tampon just to get laid. That's why women do not trust you. You don't let your intentions be known. And women do appreciate the honesty. And I've had women say, well, let me know if you just want to fuck or you want to try to get a relationship. They appreciate the honesty. And many of them decide to fuck because they're looking for some fun too. Let's go on. Nice guys let women control too damn much. That means they get in control of the relationship, get in control when they're going to go out. Nice guys are begging for dates, begging women, and women keep all the power. And that is a total turnoff to a woman. When nice guys, when they get in relationships, when they finally get in a relationship, when they start saying, well, what do you want to do tonight, dear? That man has lost his balls. He is no longer the leader of that relationship. Now, going back to history, women needed strong leaders. Men had to be leaders. And that's what they're programmed for. Don't blame them for this, because if they didn't have this, mankind would not exist. We would have failed a long time ago. If they started reading with the nice, I don't think nice guys, the weaker males back then, I should say. Then we would have had a weaker strain of mankind, and bam, mankind would have failed. And you could argue this point you want. I'm not going to argue it. Next, nice guys are afraid that if they do something wrong, she won't give them any. So they walk on eggshells. They also grovel. Yuck. They grovel. They beg. They're desperate for sex. They're desperate for sex. And that desperation smells like shit. You could always tell a motherfucker that's all thirsty. Eyes bugging out of his fucking head and shit. Dick hard. You ever seen a dog with the red thing comes out and is dripping that juice out of it? That's these nice guys. That's how they come off. Like dogs. They're obsessed. And they overanalyze everything that a woman says and does. And I get emails from guys. Oh, she said this, she said that. What's going on? Instead of making that woman obsess over them, they obsess over the woman. And that's one of the problems with males today is they have been feminized. They have become very feminine in their nature. And that's a turnoff to women. They might as well date another woman. And which many of them are doing now. Because you guys have become a race of males who lack balls. Nice guys. They feel ashamed or guilty about their natural sexuality. And these are items I've collected over the internet over the last 10 years or so. Okay? They're ashamed about their natural sexuality. Basically ashamed to admit they want to fuck. How many of you guys will go up to a woman and say, you know what, I just want to fuck? Like a bad boy would. Huh? How many guys have the balls to walk up to a female, and do that? You're afraid she's going to run off or whatever. Nice guys let women manipulate them or treat them like walking fucking wallets. It's gotten so bad, I've seen a video where brother was slicing his credit card between a woman's butt cheeks, and that was considered the cool thing of the day. That's how bad the tricking has gotten. Nah. You put yourself into the category of being a fucking trick. And unfortunately, nice guys are shitty lovers. They suck in bed. I'm sorry. I know some of you nice guys think you're all good and shit, but you think about the reason why you're nice, because you become quiet, you become controlled. You guys have controlled personalities. You don't let your natural sexuality out. You don't let your natural masculinity shine. And that comes out in bed. Bad boys get the woman in bed, they talk all kind of shit to her. Okay? Mouth running, ass moving. They ain't afraid to do shit and demand shit. Oh, dear, will you suck my dick tonight, dear? Nice guys don't do that shit. I mean, bad boys don't do that shit. My bad. Now, someone's going to probably take that mistake right there and overanalyze it. No. Bad boys don't do that shit. Don't get it twisted. Beg for sex, ask for sex. They take what they want. And that's what women like. That leader. And they will bow to an aggressive, dominant male. Don't get it twisted. It's in their nature. The reason why they test you punks is because you have not exhibited that dominant nature. So she has to test you to see if you really are truly the one. Let's continue. Let's talk about the bad boys. And I put this photo up here because I did a show on this girl over in England, and she said, "Thank God the beefcake is back." Because women, and this woman, she writes public articles all the time, and she's gathering a poll, and women are tired of the metrosexuals, the pretty boys. Okay, they want the real men to come back. Unfortunately, during the 60s, and a good thing, but women rose up in power. Unfortunately, behind that movement were the homosexual females pushing them, and they had every right to demand equal pay for equal work and all that stuff. I fully agree with that. But that whole movement changed women to becoming more aggressive and males to becoming more feminine. Okay? And now women are tired of the shit. Okay, we're tired of the feminine males, the weak males, the males that don't get them moist down there, as the women have said to me. The males that just don't do it for them. And they want some badness back. They want a guy with an edge. A cool guy with an edge. That's the uber male out there. But let's go on to some of the qualities of the bad boy. Now, you don't have to become a bad boy, as I will show you later on. But just have some of the qualities. You ain't got to be a total asshole just to get a woman. But that woman mentioned this guy. I believe his name is Clive Owen. Let's go on into the qualities now. Number one, I'm going to change the name from bad boys to real men. Okay? Real men are challenges, not some feet-kissing simps. Now, remember I talked about how nice guys are needy and conquered? They're not a challenge. Women love challenges. Why would they want to go for someone they conquered? Versus the guy whose attention they're actually begging now because he's not noticing them. Huh? Think about that. Number two, they don't make excuses for who they are, and they exude sexuality, and they're comfortable with their natural masculinity. Do we need to go back to the picture of Clive Owen there? He's reeking that sexual bad boy or real man magnetism in his charisma in that photo, the look in his eyes. That's what makes women's panties get wet. Real men assume that they're the catch, not the women. And that's where many of you nice guys fuck up. You put her on that pedestal all because she's hot. One fella said a long time ago, back in 2001, they might be a dime, but I'm $100 motherfucking bill. How many of you guys have that attitude? Think about it. She might be a dime, but you're a $100 bill. 10 cents compared to a $100 bill, that means you don't value yourself and what you bring to the fucking table. Many of you guys are going to school. You're getting your education on. Men are the producers out there. This whole world, this whole planet, we created. We created the majority of the inventions. We created the planes, the trains, the automobiles, just as that singer James Brown said. But it wouldn't mean nothing without a woman or a baby girl. And that is very true. That's why you guys are all fucked up in your head, because you don't have a woman by your side. But you don't act like you're the catch. You don't realize your true potential. Real men are unpredictable, untamed, and can't be tied down. And that nuts women up. Think about how you guys chase after women. You slather over them. You grovel at their feet. Whereas the real men act all unpredictable. Yeah, it might be available. They're untamed. They can't be tied down. There was a movie that I watched, I think it was called Skull and Bones or something like that. And there was a scene of this Caucasian bad boy. They're in that rich college, and they had some binoculars, and the bad boy's girl was there, and he was looking through the binoculars at somebody. They were spying on somebody. The whole group was spying on some group of other people. And the girl says to the guy, "Can I see? Look through the binoculars?" He looked at her with a stone cold look and said, and went back to his look and said, "Imagine it." Unpredictable, untamable, can't be tied down, brothers. Let me give you another scene. The first Batman. You guys remember the first Batman? The Joker is fixing his motherfucking tie. And his woman says, "You look good, baby." He gives her that fish stone cold look. Sneer on his face, look back, said, "I didn't ask." Think about it. Before you start whining like some bitches, think about it. Let's go on. They're not afraid of being who they are, which is men that want to fuck. How many of you guys are afraid of that shit? They don't have to trade money or gifts for sex, which is basically dating. They're always in control of the relationship. How many times you guys, you nice guys, sat there rubbing a woman's feet or sat there and listened to her whine about the bad boy that she can't land, that she can't command like she does the other motherfuckers out there who are bowing to her pussy? Huh? He's in control. And she's nutted up over it. But she's actually subconsciously happy. That's why she keeps going back. And I know I'm going to get some argument on that one. I'm not going to bother. I've been with way too many women and seen just exactly that. It's a love-hate relationship. Let's go on. They never tolerate women's bullshit. How many of you guys will blow your stack at a female that did some bullshit to you? Very few of you. You'll just take it, suck it up. They radiate sexually charged body language. That's why I put this photo here. These motherfuckers are radiating body language. Look at the brother next to the dude in the green hat. That look in the eyes. You guys who are nice guys, you don't dare look like that with the look he has in his eyes. And that's why the difference between the more thuggish types, as you guys call them. Now these guys are just models, but the more thuggish type and you guys. You guys are too self-contained. You've been trained like dogs. You've been had your balls snipped off. And there's a image going around that I should have put in here of this squirrel with these huge balls. You guys have probably seen it. Real men flirt easily. And, well, they're basically natural leaders, not followers. Okay? So they flirt easily and they do it really well. And they are natural leaders, not followers. And women love leaders. You guys do not understand that enough. How many of you guys are leaders in your lives out there? That's why I tell my fellows, find your purpose. Why are you here on this earth? Only 3% of the people ever discover that. And then start following your passions when you tie your purpose and your passions together. Like you see me doing with this business. Okay? I'm here. I was born to teach. I teach fitness. I teach this. I teach that. I'm teaching this now. That's what I was born. Teach me something, I'll teach others. Okay? That's what I do. How many of you guys are following your passion? When you follow your passion, you vibrate at a faster, higher level energetically than people who are losers. And I know the argument is going to be, well, what about bad boys? They're not following their passion. But they have all those other goddamn qualities. Okay? I know everything you guys are going to come up with. Because I've been dealing with you motherfuckers since 2001. So that's why I'm not going to bother arguing about the shit. It's like a waste of my production time. Real men, they look at women's bodies. They're not ashamed of it. They let her know, girl, I'll fuck the shit out of you. Okay? They don't care if they score with a particular female because they know that there are many others waiting in line. Real men or bad boys have a team. They want sex, but they don't need it. They don't need it. They aren't desperate and groveling for it. And by the way, that nuts women up. Because the rest of the motherfuckers out there are desperate, especially if she's hot. They're desperate trying to get in their pants. You brothers know how you guys are. I'm talking about Afro-American brothers. You won't let a bitch get to the fucking bathroom. We're trying to grab her arm and grab her ass and hey, baby, what's all that shit? Nah. You're desperate. As Tariq Nasheed says, some thirsty motherfuckers. Next. Real men are constantly unavailable. And that's one of the things I actually, because I think it's because they say Geminis are flaky. I was flaky in my 30s. Women couldn't get me on the phone. I returned the calls a few days later, all that kind of shit. And that's one of the signs of, when you start becoming that bad boy or that ladies man, if you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. Player, I don't care what you call it. You're not available. You're constantly available. And that nuts women up because they sit there thinking, what is he doing? Why isn't he ever call me? Like the rest of you motherfuckers are blowing their phone up. She got this one motherfucker that's, why isn't he doing this? And that nuts them up in the head. You get into their brains that way, like a worm. And they don't ever apologize for who they are or what they motherfucking ass have done. Do you understand, fellas? Now, there's an exception, and I deal with a lot of people all over the world. Let me add to that, though a real man does apologize when he is wrong. And in my life, when I've been wrong about things, I've apologized for it. Okay? To males or females, doesn't matter. But you don't apologize for who you are. Okay? That's just the way I am. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. That's just the way I am, baby. That's how you do it. Okay? I'm sorry you're feeling like this, but that's me. I can't help me. I'm going to do me, you do you. See what I'm saying, fellas? They also act like men around women, not pussies. Okay? When you start stepping on eggshells to be around women, you lose that natural charisma that you should be having. You have no presence. Whereas thugs, they may be losers in life, but they got more presence than you guys do because they put out a more masculine aura. Okay? You got to understand and recognize the truth. I know many of you guys who are nice guys think, oh, but I'm manly. But guess what? You're not manly enough. And that's what makes a difference. You are not manly enough. So between the two, which one do you think women were going to want to date? Man on the left, the nerd, or the businessman? And that's the next point I want to talk about, and the final point. And that is your loophole. Because there's loopholes to everything. You guys who are nice guys, you don't want to work on becoming thugs, but you want to work on becoming the man on the right, which is a real man. Okay? A man who's successful in his life. He don't take shit from women, don't take shit from nobody. He's about his life, his purpose, and he's following his passions and his dreams. If a bitch want to get on his boat and sail in his journey, that's good. Come on, girl. We can do this. If not, get the fuck out. That's the man on the right. The man on the left is going to take a girl some flowers, try to buy her some dinner, try to listen to her stories, get nervous around her, basically get none. Get nothing. Now, I know the man on the right is an over-exaggeration, the man on the left is an over-exaggeration. The man on the left is an over-exaggeration. The man on the right is not. Because these are the new alpha males out there. That's what happened to them. And I made a statement way back in 2002, and I said, usually alpha males, the new version, they go off in the business, but the ones who can't assimilate their alpha male skills, they end up in jail. And they've shown that a lot of the males in jails have the extra chromosome thing going on. So the fellows who are successful, they go off and start a business. Or they become entrepreneurs within someone else's corporation. Instead of an entrepreneur, they're called intrapreneurs. Okay? Man on the left, okay, let's take off the glasses. Let's have him stand up straight. Okay? Take off the nerd shit. He's an average guy, a nice guy. Trying to buy women this or that. He's polite. He's overly polite, walking on eggshells. Who do you think is going to turn her on? Think about it, fellas. And let's use your head. Let's learn some history and look for loopholes. So you want to become like the man on the right. You want to model the man on the right. Become successful. Become more aggressive. Does he look like a pussy? And I know it's Alec Baldwin and it's a role, but does he look like a fucking pussy? No. Does he like he would walk on eggshells around women or try to buy them? And don't give me the real history of Alec Baldwin. We're going by what we see here. Okay? Again, I know you guys. I know how you're going to respond. That's why I say this stuff. I can't do a show without having to put this stuff in there. And that's what's bad. You know, because I got to think of how are these motherfuckers going to try to respond all the time. And it gets irritating and it gets old, but I got to keep doing it because I know the responses. Okay, so what is she going to choose? Now, for African Americans, turn these two into black fellas instead. Okay, Urkel or Shamar Moore dude in a suit. Think about it. So instead of whining about the shit, why don't you love me? I was a nice guy. Instead of acting like little boys about it, how about you grow some balls instead and become men? So that women will become more attracted to you and want to be with you. How about you discover your purpose in life? How about you start your own business or become an entrepreneur? So it shows that you can become that new dominant male. And I said I was going to tie the two together. That ancient hunter, he is now the more successful males in society out there. Okay? And that's what you can tap into. Yes, you can acquire some of the qualities of the bad boy, but you can also become a real man without becoming an asshole about it. Okay? So I hope that explains something to you. I hope you guys understood a little bit of the history of why. I'm sorry it was brief. I don't have a lot of time. But I hope you guys can understand it now. Stop whining at women. Look at yourself first. Okay? And I know a bunch of African Americans are going to come at me with some shit. Don't do it. I've seen the bullshit that you guys do on YouTube. No thank you. I know some Caucasian fellas that are coming with some nerd shit. Don't do it. I've seen your bullshit too. Okay? Peace, fellas.